8-7 in that committee, Republicans and Democrats. Clearly, she cleared a major hurdle at a 10-5 vote. What was this all about then?
She really did, and I think it's a tribute to just how impressive she was in her confirmation hearing and how qualified she is, Bill. I mean, clearly this is somebody who has just tremendous experience and background, skill. She's been involved, of course, in leadership positions at the CIA. She's been in the field. She's widely respected not only within the agency but across the world, and I think that it's time we get that important position filled. And it seems to me, at least, that Democrats finally came to the conclusion that blocking her at this critical national security position at a time when there is so much at stake around the world would be a big mistake, and I think a few of them are starting to come around and break our way. Well, so hopefully we'll get her confirmed this week.
You can throw a dart, right? Syria, right. Iran, North Korea, these are matters that are pressing at the moment. Lindsey Graham on Iran first. Watch here.
Very hard on Iran, that they're going to pay a price for dismembering the Mideast, that it was a bad deal and he's going to sanction the hell out of them, and I hope the Europeans will help us not get in our way. The worst thing for the world would be a nuclear-armed Iran, because that would start a nuclear arms race in the Mideast.
That was following the meeting yesterday with the president on the Hill. You were inside that meeting. What was your takeaway on that?
I came out of the meeting, convinced that the president means business when it comes to dealing with a lot of these thug regimes around the world, whether that's Iran or North Korea. And I think that the tactics that he's employed, especially with respect to Iran pulling out, imposing sanctions, is going to have an effect. And I think, frankly, it was a mistake to go into that deal in the first place when the sanctions were being so effective. We had literally our foots on their throat, and we took it off and let them get all this money and resource, which they've now used to create havoc in the region and get back to harmful behavior. So it's important, I think, that we send that message, and I think Lindsey Graham is right. I hope that the Europeans will complement, work with us, not against us on this, because there's a lot riding on ensuring that we keep Iran from acquiring a nuclear capability and that we rein in their bad behavior in that region of the world.
Let's see if you can change some minds. Right? We'll know in time. On the North Korea matter, it seems like it's in flux at the moment. Not quite sure what to believe or what not to believe. What can you tell us about that?
I just think that right now Kim Jong-un and probably the hardliners in his regime are trying to gain leverage as we go into this negotiation, but this is a negotiation, and clearly we got a big win when the detainees were released. I think the president has been very effective in terms not only of the policy but the way that he's approached North Korea. The show of force exercises that they're reacting to is something that we've been doing for a long time on the peninsula, and so them all of a sudden now resisting that strikes me at least is an attempt to try and influence these negotiations that are upcoming. But bottom line is we need to do everything we can to try and denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, bring North Korea to the table, and I think the president and his team, at least so far, have been very effective in doing that.
We heard from Sarah Sanders just last hour. They're still optimistic this meeting will happen. State Department said they're holding their fire for the moment, not literally, but figuratively speaking, until they get more information. Tell me about the meeting yesterday with the president. All the senators were in there. What was your takeaway?
Well, first off, I thought the president was very upbeat, and he did kind of basically walk us around the world in terms of what's going on with regard to foreign policy, which I think was especially useful. Gave us some insights into what their thinking is with respect to Iran and North Korea and other areas, but also focused on the economy, which is something that we think is really important here at home. The American people are benefiting from tax reform, regulatory reform, new energy policies that are starting to grow the economy. The economy's taken off. Unemployment's at a 17-year low, and there were 6.6 million job listings in the month of March, a record. So lots of good news in the economy. The president wants to continue to capitalize on that, work with us to keep that moving forward. So it's a pro-growth, pro-jobs agenda, and I think he yesterday sort of laid that out, and he was very in rare form and very upbeat.
Well, my sense is on the Republican side, if you keep the economy strong and you sell the tax reform deal and you keep North Korea stable, you got something to run on in 6 months, and I imagine that's what your conversations are centered around. Sir, thank you for your time. Am I right on that?
Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty powerful agenda, yeah.
We'll see what Democrats have to say. Thank you, John Thune from the Hill. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.